How you going, everyone? Ooh, Nelly. This is going to be, without a doubt, the best news day of the year. Sony just had their 2014 press conference in Japan. Basically, this is a press conference they usually hold just before Tokyo Game Show, and this year they did not disappoint. There was a lot of great news across the board, and a lot of great RPG news. And I've pretty much picked the three most important stories for myself. And of course, if you've seen my top 10 RPGs videos, this news contains news about three games for three of my most favorite series. And first up, this should come as no surprise, but I jumped for joy when they showed the first footage of the new East game, and it looks fantastic. And a few questions were answered in the trailer they showed. Basically, I finally found out where Adol's new journey takes place. It basically takes place in the eastern part of the East World, in an archipelago in a place called the Sea of Gate. And from what I've seen of the trailer, it looks like this game is going to be Adol Christen's Atlantis-esque journey. Basically, Celceta's theme was trees. It's a big forest, a sea of trees. This looks like it's going to be set underwater, where he's trying to find a lost land beneath the waves, and that is awesome. I'm all for it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he comes across this new land and what it has to offer. It's going to be awesome. One thing I got to say that I thought was pretty cool was it looks a bit more action packed. Like there's a sequence where Adol and crew is jumping from one vine to the other, and the camera angle is a little bit interesting as it's more focused on the back of the characters, and it just gives off this kind of Xenoblade vibe. It's kind of like the same camera you would see in Xenoblade. And it'll be interesting to see how the game pans out, whether you can choose to zoom in or zoom out. Looks fantastic. Now, this archipelago that I described before, it does give off this vibe that Ark and Apishtim did. So it's very interesting that they're going to do another tropical East game, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Now, they have not given the crux of information to talk about when the game takes place. I think with everything that matches up, this could be the game that follows East Celceta, because I don't want to spoil too much from East Celceta, but the dots sort of fit. But the other theory I have is this game could take place after East 5, because it takes place just above the lands of East 5. That is also a possibility. So I don't know when it takes place, but I'm looking forward to finding out from Falcom and finally slotting it in on good old Adol's timeline. So yeah, this is going to be for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. And I'm thinking about no, you know what? I'm not thinking about it. I am going to get it for the PlayStation 4. I bought my PlayStation Vita for Memories of Celceta, and the Japanese version of Memories of Celceta. So when this game gets released next year in Japan, I'm probably gonna have it for PS4, and it's gonna be my first PlayStation 4 game. Unless I get a PlayStation 4 before and for something else, but it's most likely going to be for this new East game. Guys, this is phenomenal. This is the beginning of a new development cycle of an East game, and I usually celebrate it from its inception all the way up to its English release. And it's such a good feeling. It's such a wondrous feeling that I get to celebrate yet another game in my favorite series, one of my favorite series. Now, for the second piece of news that was pretty awesome is we finally got to see the first trailer for Persona 5. It didn't show any gameplay, but it did show supposedly the main character, which I have to say is a very interesting choice, because a lot of people would say he's very geekish and nerdish, but I think he's pretty cool looking. And I remember the first thing I saw is could be an androgynous character, so you don't know, it could be a female character. We don't know yet. Like Naruto, but more information is needed. But I did like the trailer. Went out into the busy metropolitan area. So I reckon it could be Tokyo. Another Persona game takes place in Tokyo. That'd be awesome since it's been a long time since that's happened. There isn't really much to go off, but I'm really happy to finally see supposedly the main character and the art design and the fact that this takes place in a metropolitan city. Very awesome. The big shock announcement was is this is now going to be for PlayStation 4 as well as PlayStation 3. A lot of people counted this on being like the swan song for the PS3, but I think to get more people interested in the PS4, they, you know, enticing people with this offer as well, and I think a lot of people is going to take it. And this is probably going to make it Atlus's first foray into the PlayStation 4. So it should be interesting to see how this all pans out. It'll be interesting to see how many people buy it for PS3 and how many people buy it for PS4. But very excited. I think if this will come out before East or after East, I probably will get it for the PlayStation 4 because both these games is worth owning a PlayStation 4 for. I'm just gonna say that now, just crazy stuff. And lastly, what had to be the biggest shock announcement of ever, not just this year, like ever. I did not expect this at all. Did not think that this would be in the cards. But Tecmo Koei is just on a ball with these legendary video game series Dynasty Warriors crossovers. I mean, one of the biggest games I'm looking forward to that's coming out in a couple of weeks is Hyrule Warriors, where it's a Zelda Dynasty Warriors game. But it doesn't stop there. They decided maybe we should do another one, and I'm guessing Square Enix reached out to them and say, hey, would you like to make a Dragon Quest Dynasty Warriors game? And they said, yeah, why not? Because announced at the conference was Dragon Quest Heroes, a Dynasty Warriors game, set in the Dragon Quest universe. Just absolutely mind blowing, and the game looks amazing. The thing is, Dragon Quest is a franchise that benefits from side games, from spin-offs. I love the numbered entries. They're some of my favorite RPGs of all time. But some of the spin-off games they create are some of the best spin-off games of all time. Like Dragon Quest Swords for the Wii is without a doubt one of the best hidden gems of last generation. It is a game I had so much fun with. I loved the character, I loved the world of that game, and I wanted more Swords games. I've played Torn Echoes Mystery Dungeon, which is a roguelike spin-off for Dragon Quest, and that game is really fun, and I really enjoyed it. And then you've got the Rocket Slime Adventure, which is kind of like a top-down Zelda-esque game spin-off from the Dragon Quest series, and I had a lot of fun with that game too. And Dragon Quest Monsters, while it has a lot of controversy surrounding it, is it's a decent Pokemon clone. Or you know what, it kind of is, kind of isn't. It's its own thing, but I enjoy it as well. So I'm really excited to play a Dynasty Warriors Dragon Quest game. I think it'll be phenomenal. And the thing is, though, I need to know more information whether this is a Dynasty Warriors game. From what I've seen in the trailer, it definitely is. Or it's going to be sort of like an action RPG in the same vein as Trinity Souls of Zilol, because they did have the, in writing, but RPG, I didn't know if that meant, here comes a Dynasty Warriors game from the biggest RPG, or this is an action RPG series made by Koei and Omega Force. I need more, like Persona 5, I need more information, but from what I can see, it's pretty much going to be a Dynasty Warriors game. And besides RPGs, guys, I love Dynasty Warriors. I love Koei. I've supported them in the Dynasty Warriors series for a very long time. I love Dynasty Warriors, love Samurai Warriors, and I love Dynasty Warriors Gundam. They're some of my favorite games that I constantly play on and off during the years. And to think that we're getting a Dragon Quest one is just absolutely amazing. I never thought it would happen in a million years. But this is going to be where the most interesting theories lie, is that this is going to be for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3. And I'm scratching my head saying, Are they is their deal with Nintendo faltering? Because they had this sort of exclusive deal with Nintendo where they were just releasing most of their Dragon Quest games on Nintendo, and we kind of thought that was going to be happening for a very long time. But I've noticed in the last year or two, they're starting to branch out, and they've been releasing Dragon Quest games on the iOS and Android, and now they're releasing Dragon Quest X on PC, and I'm thinking they're going back to multi-platform because Dragon Quest 8 is my favorite Dragon Quest game of all time, and that was on the PlayStation 2 originally. Now it's on iOS, and it looks like that they're sort of shimmying back into Sony as well, giving this exclusive game for the Sony consoles. Man, I'm kind of really optimistic about this because I'm kind of really bitter towards Square Enix lately, especially with the way they've been handling Dragon Quest 7. I mean, they had an article lately that they don't think that Dragon Quest 7 would sell well. That's why they've been hesitant to work on it, which is it's truly depressing because that's why I bought my 3DS. And I'm going to say this now, as harsh as I'm going to sound, if they're not going to release Dragon Quest 7, they might as well not bothering releasing any 3DS Dragon Quest games at all. That kind of loses faith with Square Enix and the 3DS a lot. So I might as well put my hope in Dragon Quest games on Sony consoles instead. I mean, the best thing about Dragon Quest Heroes is that the PlayStation consoles, of course, are Region 3, and the Warriors games are more gameplay centric. So if you really want to have fun with Dragon Quest Heroes, you could just have to import it. Simple as that. And a lot of people will, because of how how Square Enix has worked in the West, how they're very uncertain about their localizations. This is a game that people don't have to wait for. They can just go bang, import and play. So we'll see what happens with this, whether Square Enix of North America and the rest of the world will take any interest in localizing this game. One of the reasons I think it might be a more enticing game is the fact that it's on a next gen system. It's kind of like their foot in the door, even though they already have the PlayStation 4 version of Final Fantasy 14 A Realm Reborn. So I think that's it, guys. This is probably one of my biggest ramble videos ever, but I'm still in shock over the pieces of news. I'm still giddy over the new footage of the new East game. Just absolutely phenomenal. And that is it. I mean, I should just take the time to say that Tokyo Game Show is in a couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more information concerning these games and the various other RPGs that they covered at the conference. I will no doubt give you the information in some way or another. I can't talk about how I'm going to do that. You'll have to stay tuned and see how it happens. But until then, dear listeners, thank you for listening, and I will catch you later.